Hey, good morning. This is Chuck. Hey, this morning I'm going to do a little bush hogging again. And the other day I mentioned that I had checked all the grease points and lubrication points on my bush hog and my tractor, fluid levels, etc. But I hadn't checked the gearbox on my bush hog since. Now, as far as I know, I hadn't hit anything hard, but there's a couple of reasons for me checking my gearbox oil lube. It's 90 weight oil, but the main one is you don't want it to run out because that gearbox is expensive. I'll show you the gearbox right now. So here's the gearbox. Now it's a Bush Hog brand, which is the kind of bush hog it is. It's a 72-inch, I think they call it a squealer is the model. Come around here and look at the serial number. This isn't a cheap bush hog. It's got a serial number and a model number on it. But no, it's not a cheap one. In fact, that gearbox, just the part itself is, I think they're around $1,400 to $1,600 new. That's not including labor to get that box off. You see 4 bolts on top. Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, underneath you got a stump jumper and your blades. It's best to take those blades off so they're not flopping around. And then the stump jumper is on a spline shaft that's tapered, and you got to get that big nut off. And then you've got to most likely you're going to put heat on it. So unless you've got all those tools, you're going to hire somebody to do it, which it's going to end up costing you a pretty penny. So it's a good idea to take care of your gearbox. Make sure you got lubricant in it, and make sure there's not water in it also. Now, water can enter from the vent in the plug, but it also can just condense out of the air from it breathing the outside air. It's, the humidity here in this part of the country is really high, and so when air gets in there and the temperature changes, it can condense just like dew on the grass, and then that water is heavier than oil. It's going to go to the bottom, and you're really not going to know you have any in there. There's 2 ways to check it if you got water in your oil. One is you check your level, and if your level's way up, if you only put the right amount in there and it's up, there's probably water underneath it. So you can run it a little bit and check it again. If it's milky, it needs to be removed. Another thing you can do is you can take this big bulb. You can buy these on Amazon, and it's a fluid extractor, and you can run that fluid extractor down into the bottom and pull off the bottom, and if there's water in there, it's most likely going to show up. So really important that you don't run water in your oil. It's meant to use 90 weight gear oil. So the tools I'm going to use, first I'm going to take a crescent wrench. I just use a 10-inch crescent. You put it right here. I think it's set to 3/4 of an inch. And you want to make sure that this will loosen. And it will. So if I can't get any oil in there, or out of there, can't get any oil in there. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a 5/16 Allen head, and I use this 3/8. It's got a 1/4 on one side, 3/8 on the other. You can get these over at Harbor Freight. Imagine me going to Harbor Freight. Anyway, well, let me set you up first. First thing I'm gonna do is try to clean up a little bit of that residue oil from around that plug so I don't get a mess in there. I got my helpers here, my supervisors. They're making sure I got everything I need, and then this is my quality control drake right here, or hen right here. My wife calls her Sweet Cheeks. I'm trying my best not to get any trash in that gear oil. It's not as important as like if you're working on a transmission, but it's just some gears. You just take this pipe plug out. Now just a little bit comes out of there. We're probably at the right level. A lot of bit came out of there, and it's kind of milky too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change that oil, because I know some water's in there. Because the other day I filled it up, and it's rained a bunch since then, and maybe it was in there already, maybe it wasn't, but after I've used it some, it's foamed up. Now it's lubricated pretty good, but that's not what that oil is supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like just some dark, clear oil. So I'm going to use this fluid extractor. And of course I'll dispose of it properly for all you EPA folks that are watching. But you want to get as much of this out as you can. Okay, I've purged all I can out of there, or sucked all I can out of there with that big syringe. And I know I didn't get it all out, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill it with new oil until it starts coming out the side. Now this 5-gallon bucket came from Tractor Supply, and it's 85W120 or 140. Which that's what I've been using. It works good, but it's for gear oil, and they sell it probably in quarts and gallons, but eventually you're going to use 5 gallons over the years. Be sure and store it inside though, so it doesn't get rained on. Ask me how I know. This little pump that goes inside of it is not really sealed, and it will get water in it. The way this works is I'm just going to start pumping until it comes out the side hole. Y'all tell me when it comes out the side. That's a joke. This little thing here is going to tell me. And I know it's full. Now, like I said, I've got all I can out of there. But now that's what new oil should look like. Plug it. I'll tighten that up here in a minute. And I take my high-tech stick that I sharpened to plug this off. And now it's filled with gear oil. But I'll check it, and if it's milky next time, I'll do the same thing. It's not doing as good a job as clean gear oil. And like I said, the price of this thing here, plus the labor, is a lot of money. I bought this Bush Hog used for, I think it was $1,200, $1,250, something like that. But new, it would cost a pretty penny for a 6-foot with a heavy duty gearbox. This gearbox is rated from 40 to 65 horse, I think. It only got a 35 horse PTO. Anyway, that's all there is to it. I've checked this. I'll grease these 2 U-joints, grease the tail wheel, and the vertical shaft on the tail wheel. Y'all be ready to go. And so I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, give it a like and share it with somebody. I hope you picked up something that you didn't know before about checking the gear oil or how important it was. If you've got anything else you want to add to it, feel free to. I mean, it's free. You can take it or leave it. But if you could teach me something, I sure would appreciate it. Anyway, I'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks for watching.